I'm here to tell you about a shootout in Texas on Sunday. We got the Washington Commanders taking on the Dallas Cowboys. Washington comes in as a slight favorite, -1, but that total sits at 55.5. Is this the highest total we've seen so far? It could be. Washington, 3-3 straight up, 3-3 against the spread. Of course, they're coming off an ugly 25-24 home loss to Chicago on Monday Night Football. So it's a short rest game, and they're banged up at receiver. Terry McLaurin and Debo are both listed as questionable, but in fact, McLaurin's been downgraded. It's highly unlikely that he's going to play this week or anytime soon for that matter. This Washington team, the number 2 rushing offense in the NFL, they're running for 151 yards per game on average. Passing game, Jaden Daniels, he's been pretty solid in the games he's played, throwing for 875 yards, 7 touchdowns, just 1 interception. He threw for 211 yards and an interception against Chicago, but it wasn't enough. This Washington defense ranks 24th in the NFL, giving up 25 points per game. But you look at this total, and this tells me there's an opportunity to take advantage of all that projected scoring in the player prop market. And I've had a look at some of them for both teams. And if you're looking at yardage props, receptions, anytime touchdowns, if they're priced along the same lines as what they're normally priced in games with a total of 44.5, and we got this total sitting at 55.5, to me, there's value. I don't bet anytime touchdown props unless we see high totals like this where we're projecting a lot of scoring. But I will bet anytime touchdown props in this game. And probably the best candidate for Washington is Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, young guy. Can't say I'm overly familiar with him, but he is getting the bulk of the workload for Washington. His rushing yards total sits at 69.5. I think he's going to get there against a Dallas defense that got gutted last week at Carolina. So, and yeah, I like his anytime touchdown as well at -130. But before we talk about the Dallas Cowboys, I got to tell you about a promotion we got available right now at picksandparlays.com. And this one, you're probably familiar with this if you've been following these videos. The Weekend Warrior package. You get all my football picks for just $49. Saturday, all day college. Sunday, all day NFL. We'll even throw in Monday Night Football. And did you know that after a perfect sweep last night on Thursday Night Football, I'm now hitting over 70% with NFL this season? And dating back to the beginning of last year's playoffs, 72% with all my NFL picks. Oh, and by the way, we swept the board with college last week as well. So you want to grab that. But as always, no purchase necessary. You're more than welcome to tune in just for the free picks. I do ask that you take the time to smash the like button. And if you've got anything to say to me about this game or any other game on Sunday or even college football, hit me up in the comments. I love hearing from the viewers, and a lot of people have so many interesting things to say. Let's have a look at what people are saying in recent days. The Tribe 4865 says, you look like Rocky Marciano. Is it too bright where you're at? And I don't know what he means by that. And does he mean Rocky Marciano or Robert De Niro playing Rocky Marciano in the film? We'll have to wait until he gets back to us and lets us know about that. And we got this fella here. Dude does a video on the game and then says he will wait until Friday to decide depending on Arizona quarterback status, Arizona State's quarterback status. Why do the video then? And I replied, I said, I think that question kind of answers itself. And I do a lot of videos on a lot of games. And if you're not satisfied with my service, I'd like to offer you a full refund of the purchase price. But there is no purchase price. It's free. I can't believe you're complaining about a free pick. Again, all comments are welcome. Often I comment about the status of certain players and that I'm waiting for a line to move one way or the other. I think that's good information, solid information. I consider a free pick with a detailed plan to wait on a line should hold some value if you know anything about gambling, but some people might disagree. Anyways, everybody's entitled to their opinion. It is a free country after all. Thank goodness. Let's get back into the free pick. We got to talk about those Dallas Cowboys, and there's plenty to talk about. Dallas 2-3-1 against, or 2-3-1 straight up, and 3-3 against the spread, and they're coming off a 30-27 loss at Carolina. The Panthers ran the ball for 216 yards. They averaged 5.7 yards per carry. And this Dallas team, they can score points, but they sure can't play defense. They ranked dead last in the NFL in total defense. They ranked dead last in the NFL against the pass. They ranked 29th in the NFL, allowing 142 rushing yards per game. Again, go back to what I said about Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. He could have a field day against this Dallas defense this week. I mean, look at what Rico Dowd did last week. Who would have guessed that Rico Dowd would go off for 170 yards or 200-plus yards from scrimmage? I guess I would have guessed because that was one of my premium picks for clients. Anyways, as I said, I'm expecting this game to be a shootout. The total sits at 55.5. That's an opportunity to get involved in the player prop market, especially if the said player has a projected yards total or anytime touchdown price that isn't inflated. Because in my mind, when the total is 55, the price should go up to bet on players to accumulate yards, receptions, rushing yards, because there has to be more of all that stuff to get to 55.5, unless the defenses are doing all the scoring. So for the Cowboys, it's got to be George Pickens. He's fourth in the NFL in receiving yards with 525 yards, 6 touchdowns. He's caught 5 or more passes in 4 of his 5 games so far this season. And his yards prop was very low. I think it was 50-something. You'd have to have a look. I forgot to write that down, but I do know that I like George Pickens props, practically all props for Pickens and Krosky-Merritt. I'm talking receiving yards, rushing yards, anytime touchdowns, rushing and receiving yards. As I said, there's an opportunity when you see these high totals to get star players. If they're priced the way they were priced the previous weeks, when the totals were 41, 44, and yeah, you hit it hard, you stack them, you grab a handful of players that you think are going to be involved in the offense. And a prime example of that is what happened on Thursday night. You saw both teams put up a ton of points. My clients went 4-0 with Thursday night football, with players accumulating yards and touchdowns. But that wasn't because of a high total. That was because I projected that both teams would lean on their passing game, which they did. Anyways, if you like this video, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you've got anything to say to me, even if it's nasty, hit me up in the comments below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can.